You're listening to Swingology, a lifestyle podcast. Swingology is for adult entertainment only, and we're not licensed professionals. Our show features adult themes, language, and descriptions of sexual acts and desires. If you're under 18, this is not the show for you. The ideas and opinions expressed are those of the speaker only and not of any company or entity, and should not be considered professional advice. Now, let's stimulate your mind. Welcome back, everyone. We are your hosts, Tori Kist.
And Steve Kist.
And today we're talking about our day 4 on the Bliss Cruise, November 2024. And it started off sleeping in, getting breakfast, and hitting the hot tub to relax our sore bodies.
So yeah, that's right. We went and did the breakfast buffet. On the cruise ship, the breakfast buffet is essentially the same kind of breakfast every day. So you know what you're going to get. You've got the omelet station, you've got eggs, you've got bacon, you've got different kinds of sausages. There's always biscuits and gravy. Anything you can generally think of for breakfast, they have it.
And it's at the end of the ship where you have windows all around the dining room. So you have views of wherever port you're in or if you're at sea. So it's just a spectacular way to wake up. And while we were there, well, actually, we went over to the hot tub to relax our bodies just for a little while. The hot tub wasn't quite as hot as I wish it was, but that's fine. We did have an appointment to meet with another podcast couple, Carol and Dave of The Sexy Lifestyle. So we went over and met with them, recorded an episode. And so stay tuned over at The Sexy Lifestyle podcast to hear Tori and Steve interview. Mm-hmm. I don't know when they're going to release that. They typically are about 2 to 3 months in advance, so check back maybe in January.
Yep. Let's see. After we recorded the podcast and we had recovered our legs in the hot tub from the strenuous hiking we had done the day before, we hightailed it back to the room and decided that we were not in any shape to perform sexual activities in the benefit of other humans. So we decided to postpone an 11 a.m. play date we had made the day before because we just weren't ready
We want to represent our best self, and we don't want to do anything half-assed. So we decided to go ahead and postpone that play date appointment, which is fantastic. You win some, you lose some. That's fine. But there was a lesbian couple that is exploring their sexuality, and they were curious about meeting up with us. So
we had Mexican for lunch.
Oh, technically speaking, after the podcast, we went off to meet the lesbians, right? Didn't we? Or no?
No, we had Mexican right before.
My day's a blur already.
Yeah, your day's all confused. So
the Mexican was yummy. I had a quesadilla.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do the Mexican again today. That was really good. And then it was a port day at Labadee. We had been to Labadee a couple times already.
There was a pool party going on, people in the hot tub. We were busy, honestly. It was from podcasting to lunch to finding the lesbian couple to chatting with them, and then we met with friends in the same bar. So that pivoted for about 2 hours. We got.
So yeah, there was the lesbian couple we decided to meet up with on the ship. We met them at one of the lounges that was low volume, so it was a good vibe area, and we just wanted to ask them some questions about their relationship, their experience in the lifestyle. We had assumed that they were a lesbian couple, but it turns out they were both bi. Yes, they were in a 20-year relationship with each other, but they're both very enthusiastically.
One was more bi than the other.
Yeah, they're enthusiastically dick happy though, so they do enjoy some big dick energy.
Yes, and they told me that there's a ladies only playroom in one of the smaller playroom venues here. So I told them, oh, really? Okay, well, I'll have to meet you there later. So that is what I did later on in the day. So stay tuned. At the end of this episode, we will touch on that.
So after we met with that couple, there was friends from our hometown that happened to jump into that lounge area, and we just kind of mosey on over to their table and sat down.
They called us over. We didn't mosey over. They called us over.
Nah, we moseyed over.
Because you played with them the night before, and they were enthusiastically wanting to chat.
So we chatted with them. We had some great conversation, great connection. It had been a while since we had seen them being at home. And then, it was interesting. It was great because they opened up and we all actually opened up to having vulnerable conversations with each other about unrelated things, but things that kind of involved lifestyle that we're just not going to get into. But it was really great and connection bond forming conversation. It kind of did bring us closer together as all friends. So
you know what? That's a common trend that I've noticed on this Bliss Cruise, Steve. We go on the Bliss Cruise to swing and to be with like-minded people. But then in the end, we grow closer together and we become more connected as a couple. And then also, if you come with friends, hopefully, for us at least, we are closer to our friends now on a more emotional level or, vulnerability level.
Yeah.
I love that connection.
Another thing we tried, when we started this cruise, we thought we were going to walk all the floors and see all of the doors that were decorated on the cruise ship. I think we've done 2 floors so far. We thought we were going to start from the top down. To walk a floor, it's a long ass walk.
Yeah, this ship is, 1,188 feet in length?
I have no idea.
There's a board in the promenade that scrolls just like a stock market scroll, like the digital, and it says stats and it says how many people are on board, how long the ship is.
Yeah, it scrolls all the useless information you'll never need.
Like trivia.
Trivia information about the ship.
Yeah, I think the ship is 1,188 feet long. And so when you're walking the ship, looking at doors, checking out pictures and little select cards and writing little notes it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve and I like to use the stairs instead of the elevator most of the time. So those stairs are getting to us as well.
One thing I noticed is when you walk the halls and you look at people's doors, some people's doors are highly decorated, but they still have no notes or messages from people. Why do you think that some doors have messages, lots of messages, and some don't? Why do you think that is?
Well, part of it could be the participation in chats on like Telegram or Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, that's true.
Going to meetups
that's
and,
true.
And telling people your room number or giving select cards that way.
I think select cards probably has a big impact on that as well.
Definitely.
I think if you're more outgoing and you're engaging other people in conversations, you're more likely to have people that are going to seek out and look for you on the ship and want to spend more time with you. So if you're just kind of quiet, not engaging others, and just kind of keeping it to yourself, of course your door is going to be blank because no one really knows you. The reason why I even bring this topic up is someone was kind of whining that no one was leaving messages on their door. I
right.
thought that was interesting.
One of the doors across from us, we overheard a conversation through the hall because, we're in a cruise ship. The doors aren't that thick. And they were having a little whiny moment and it was within earshot. They were upset that no one was writing on their door and they were an attractive couple, but there's no picture on their door. It's just a dry erase board. So if anyone's walking through, how are they going to know what you look like?
Right. So that's another thing of it. A lot of people are walking through the hallway looking at doors. Most of them are decorated. Most of the doors have a picture of the couple that are in the room. And if someone is attracted to that picture or that couple, they'll be like, hey, liked your picture, or we liked the vibes on your door. Why don't you come check out ours? If you feel the same, why don't we meet up somewhere at a lounge and get together and vibe? If you just leave your name on the door, no one's going to make a connection with your name and want to meet up with you later.
And better yet, if you can include a tidbit of something you're into in your decoration of the door. For example, we found unicorns on a door and Steve was like, oh, there's unicorns over here. And so we went over and looked and we got to write a little note on the board. And then they came over to our door and checked out our pictures and wrote a little note. So then now we're playing note tags.
Yeah, we're definitely playing note tag.
But that's
fun. We don't know if we're going to ever meet that person.
Exactly.
But it's a fun either way. We've been note tagging each other for a few days on the ship. If we ever meet, we're going to be laughing about that for the first 10 minutes in our conversation. Mm-hmm. I know, no doubt.
There's another door that has a neon sign that says hot wife. And so obviously we know she's a hot wife that's in that cabin. There's no picture of her on that one, but there's just the neon sign.
And again, if you're listening to our podcast for the first time and you don't know what hot wife is a woman that goes out and plays either with or in front of her husband. And her husband usually watches, perhaps plays with the wife, but he doesn't generally get involved with other women. So it's
not
just
completely a full swap. It's just mostly the wife playing.
Right. And so that is called a hot wife.
After lunch, we met up at the bar.
Yep.
The lesbian couple, chatted with them, got some information, and agreed to meet them at the ladies only playroom. We pivoted over to our friends, and then after that, we thought we were going to have dining reservations because I made a couple specialty dining, but my days were flip-flopped because when you're cruising, you kind of forget what day it is, and so my bad, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I've totally had my days mixed up. So then
we were getting ready to go to the specialty dining location and realized that our dining is not reserved for today.
Which was good because we also realized
we were very thankful because at that time we were not ready to eat.
And it was one of those specialty dinings where it's like $60 per person. So you want to get your money's worth, but you want to go hungry. At least that's my frame of mind.
Yeah. If we were going to eat, it would have been like 3 bites and we would have I'm like, I'm done.
So at that point, we went to the room and put on our...
Got ready for glow night.
Yes, we did. So we brought multiple outfits just in case, like we wanted to change clothes, number one. We were going to maybe have something more comfortable, something more in tune with the 80s. So I put on a neon yellow. No, is it yellow or green?
It was a neon yellow green.
Yeah, like a neon yellow green club dress. And he has matching color shorts. And he has suspenders that light up.
Yep.
We also have light up sneakers.
Yep, light up sneakers. Those were a hit, as well as my suspenders and my amazing 80s dance moves.
And so right about that time when we left our cabin from getting ready, it was time for me to go to the ladies only playroom. So we separated. And if you've listened to our previous episodes about being on the Bliss Cruise, when we separate, we will tell each other what happened when we get back together live on the recording so we get the actual reaction of our spouse. So
I don't know what my wife did while we were separated, and she doesn't know what I did when we were separated.
But I will say we were not separated very long, so let's dive in so we can then talk about my favorite part.
Go.
Okay, so when we left the cabin and I went to the ladies only playroom, I had a beverage. I had just bought a beverage from the bar and it was full. And you cannot bring beverages in. So I decided to use the excuse of drinking my beverage and not going in because I didn't want to get rid of my beverage. So I stood outside the playroom with single guys. And my excuse was that I wasn't going in because I had to drink my drink. But I was honestly intimidated.
What were you intimidated about?
So I'm an omnisexual. Omnisexual people are open to all genders. Most people think that's pansexual, but pansexual, yes, they're open to all genders. However, they're gender blind. I am not gender blind, but I am open to all genders. I am also asexual. So asexual is a spectrum. Asexual people are not sexually attracted to anybody. And this where I am on the spectrum fluctuates. So depending on where I am, if there's a nice vibe, I'll be down to play. I don't care what gender you are, let's play. So that's why I wanted to go to the ladies only playroom, vibe it out, see what's happening in there. But when I got to the doorway, it was hard. It was so hard to enter. I couldn't do it for a while. So I just kind of overlooked the balcony, looking down into the promenade, sipping my drink. Some single guys came over and talked to me. Eventually I got the nerve to go inside. So that it was about 10 minutes. And I was thinking maybe I won't even go inside. But I decided, no, I need to go inside. Let's see if I can spend 5 minutes inside. It might not be so scary. I don't know why I was intimidated. I just was. So I go inside and it was, on one hand, I can see how it was passionate and sensual inside, but that wasn't my vibe that I was receptive to. So to me, I did a walkthrough, didn't see anyone that I recognized, and decided to leave.
Okay.
And then I like penises better. I just do. It's just my thing. So then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go down to the promenade where the glow party was happening at that time because it did end up moving. And when I went down there, I immediately saw Steve.
You immediately saw me?
I literally immediately saw you. And I decided, you know, let me just see if I can be a wallflower. And if he walks right by and I'll just stare at him and stalk him for a minute. You saw me. So we were gone. We were separated for all of 20 minutes at most. While I was gone, what did you do?
Oh, boy.
You probably just walked through the promenade where the glow party was at and the dancers, right?
That's exactly what happened.
It was like 20 minutes. It wasn't that long.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. So I went back to the room. I dropped off the bag I was carrying, which had all kinds of goodies in it, and I figured, if I was going to get into any kind of trouble, I'll just come back to the room and pick the bag up.
When he says bag with goodies, he's talking about a little play bag. So like we have some
lube, condoms,
vagina wipes,
scent things,
a hairbrush for
mints, all kinds of stuff, hair ties for unexpected and unannounced blowjobs.
Yeah, things like that.
All kinds of stuff. So dropped the play bag off. I went to a room where our friends were located, knocked on the door, see if they were there. They had already vacated the room. So I then went down to deck 6, where the upper floor of the glow party was located. I just kind of watched from the balcony for a little while.
Overlooking
the lower floor of deck 5, where there is all this glow party, people dancing, there's music, there's a stage with dancers going on. Went down to the deck 5 and I made it a point I was going to wander through the entire crowd from one deck of the promenade, or one side of the promenade, to the other side of the promenade. That took a little while because everyone was so crowded together. And so by the time I made it to the other side, I was like, woof, I made it. And then I looked over to the right, and there my wife was standing next to a huge pillar.
Yep. And that's amazing because, there's 6,000 people on this ship.
So, yes, for example, there's someone on Telegram. She looks gorgeous. She's got red hair. I've been looking for her on this ship since we boarded, just for a random chance encounter. I am pretty sure I saw her once.
My husband has a thing for redheads.
I really do. I'm pretty sure I saw her once when we were at the main dining hall. In fact, I know I did. And then I was like, okay, well, I have visually confirmed that she's here, but it would have really be weird if I stood up in the middle of the dining hall and ran over to give her my slut card. That would have been
slutty.
That would have been creepy. So I was like, all right, I'll see her again at some point on the ship. But even after attempting and looking, there's 6,000 people. You just don't. It's not easy just to find someone. And it's really, really, really wonderful that after all of 5 minutes, we just stumbled upon each other.
I'll always find you.
I'll always find you. Yeah, that kind of thing was going on.
The universe brought you to me.
Yep. I mean, for real, though, there's something to that.
So at that point, we decided we wanted to watch the glow show that was happening. It wasn't little by any means. That's what she said. And we wanted to be up high in the balcony. So we went back up to where he was at, and we overlooked we were people watching, basically.
Yeah, people watchers. And then we did that for a little while.
Well, I guess it was 4 minutes, because as soon as I started to dance, that's when they finished their little dance thing, and everyone started shuffling out to the boardwalk. So and that was the opposite end of the cruise ship than we were. So we decided, let's go ahead and see what they're doing.
So the promenade is essentially an indoor shopping street is what it is. And it's got an equal number of shops and restaurants and lounges and bars and that kind of thing. The boardwalk is the outdoor version of the same thing.
There's a carousel, a hot dog stand, there's a bar, Johnny Rockets. There's also a aqua theater that they covered up the aqua area and made it a dance floor. And it was black lights everywhere. Everything was glowing.
The spotlights were huge black lights. So everyone was glowing.
Great music
intensely.
Out there. EDM music, I think, right?
Yep. And so that dance floor was, it was even more jam-packed than the promenade had been. So we definitely got up onto the second floor and then overwatched the dance floor from above. And we got into the music vibes, and we just started dancing on that balcony, just me and her. And
honestly, babe, that was my highlight.
We started getting a lot of viewers from below pointing at us and waving,
and that was fun. It was freaking fantastic.
It was great.
I loved that particular part of the night.
Definitely jive into the music. Then we decided we were gonna just peel away. Before
we peel away, I want to just point out anyone who's curious about dressing up for Glow Party, when it comes to the neon colors, the number one color people wore is yellow, green, neon. The second color people wore, I would say, is like a pink.
White, pink.
White. I didn't see very much orange. I don't think I saw any neon blue. So if you want to stand out and you have to get a costume for a neon party, orange and blue, I think, are the most rare that I saw. Yellow and green, most popular.
Yellow and green is most popular. So if you want to fit in, that's what you go with. But I was talking to my wife last night about it, as like every time I saw a woman wearing all pink, like my eyes just kind of diverted over. And it was like, she didn't even have to be very attractive. I don't know what it is about pink, and maybe it's just me, but I think pink is like eye-catching.
I think she also had a neon wig as well.
When we decided to peel away from the glow party, we were sweating from head to tail from the...
Jumping for half an hour.
Yeah, dancing nonstop for half hour to an hour. We walked to the other end of the ship, stood in a breezeway, cooled off, and then we decided we were going to go... Is that when we decided we were going to go to the hot tub?
We walked on the walking trail, actually.
Yeah, I know that. And yeah, that's when we walked to the other side of the breezeway. Mm-hmm. But is that when we decided to go to the hot tub?
Let me think about this. It was just 10 hours ago.
You would think we would remember.
Yes, I do believe at that point we went to the hot tub to relax our legs and bodies and start to wind down.
Of course, it's a cruise ship full of 6,000 people.
Horny people.
Yeah, very horny people. The hot tubs were all being utilized. And so when we thought we were going to get away and have some quiet time at a hot tub, that wasn't going to happen. We knew that wasn't going to happen. The moment we got settled into the hot tub, some couple came over and it wasn't, we just, I don't know. In our own minds, we just wanted a little separation from everybody because we were starting to get into our feels for each other, and we were starting to have a deeper emotional connection. And then another couple, and it wasn't necessarily unwelcome. It was just another couple came over and
wanted to be chatty and connect.
Yeah, they just wanted to connect.
And that's okay. We gave them some attention.
Yeah, we certainly did. We talked to them for a little while. We got to know each other for a little bit, and then eventually they left, and we were able to focus on each other. And so that just kind of continued to
until they closed the hot tub.
Yeah, that was like, what do you mean it's closed? And
they kicked us out.
They kicked us out. And they said, you have to go to the other hot tub on the other half of the ship now. And I was like, boo.
So we walked up to the very top deck and decided to what is it called? Sunbathe. Moonbathe.
Moonbathe. Moonbathing apparently is a thing.
It's a thing for me.
And we did that for a little while. I went and got us some snack food from the dining hall. By this point,
it was almost 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's good to mention that. So at 2 a.m., we barely ate dinner. I went and got us some snack food from the dining hall, brought it over to the lounge where we found like this little nook where we could be kind of alone and just moonbathe. We just spent time together. We talked, we reminisced about the cruise. We talked about what was the favorite parts. We talked about our marriage and our life together and how we've grown. It was a great connecting moment. During the night, we had sent a couple one-off messages to people to see if there was anyone interested. I got to tell you, at 2 a.m. on Glow Party night, I would say everyone under the age of 50 was still up and popping. Like every other night on the cruise ship, I would say not even 30% of the ship is still awake. On Glow night, 50 to 60% of the ship is still awake. I think it's considered the main party night of the ship.
And it's right in the middle of the cruise week, so that makes sense.
Like the ship was still highly active at 2. I got messages.
Oh, babe, I have to interrupt you.
Okay.
At some point, I think this was right before we went to the hot tub at the very end. We came back to our cabin, sat on our balcony, completely turned off the lights because we have a balcony cabin. And so we could see out into the ocean and kind of decompress from the glow party. And then we went back out to the hot tub. And when we were out there with the lights out and just watching the stars, I went down on you, and because we were naked, and gave you some oral on the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you liked that.
I did.
And we wanted to have sex, but we knew
if we were going to have sex,
it was
we were just going to fall
morning.
asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, so we knew if we had sex, we were going to crash. We didn't want to crash. We wanted the night to keep going. It was such a great night. We didn't want to end it yet. So we were like, okay, let's go to the hot tub. Okay, let's go to the sun deck and moonbathe. Okay, I don't want to end the night yet. I'm getting tired. I don't want to.
When we decided to head back to our room from moonbathing, it's such a weird thing to say. that's when we started getting messages from people about, hey, what are you doing? Let's link up. Let's go play together. Let's meet in the playroom. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it was like, why did you wait until like 2:20 a.m. to start reaching out? It was too late for us. We decided just to stick together. Crawled into our bed.
Had some
focused on each
emotional
other.
sex.
Yeah, we had some emotional, crazy sex, and then I think I promptly fell asleep.
You did something that you don't normally do.
What was that?
When you orgasmed, you made eye contact with me the whole time.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
I remember doing that.
That was
good.
deep.
Yeah, that was good.
So deep.
So we are now on day 5 on the cruise ship, and we are
At sea all day long.
At sea, we're getting ready to head over to get some breakfast.
We're not going to say what we're doing today. You have to stay tuned for next episode. It is going to be a good one.
So we've got some plans, good plans today. We're going to make some content today.
We're not talking about it.
I can talk to get them interested for tuning to the next episode, because we're going to talk about some spicy content we're going to make today. And we're already got plans with other people later in the evening. Stay tuned and stimulate your mind.
Tune in to stimulate your mind. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Swingology. I'm truly honored to have you as a listener. If you liked what you've heard, consider subscribing to our podcast or connecting with us on social media. The links can be found with the episode show notes. This is Tori Kist, reminding you to stimulate your mind.